Booyah. Welcome back. Another Friday episode, post-Christmas episode. I've got myself my new Christmas sweater. Just got this. Thank you, Nanny. Shout out. Got myself a nice sweater this holiday. You also might notice my new hat. This wasn't a Christmas gift, but me and Carter were at Black Mountain today. I did pick this up. Yeah. But this is episode 23, and it's our first episode that our mom has joined us. Got her sitting across from me. That's our mom, Kate. And our dad's been on a couple times, but we haven't been able to get Mom on until now. And Mom says she's being brave, coming on the line tonight. So
yes, I am. Shout out to Dad. Hi, Dad.
watching at home.
Yeah.
Don't stay up too late. Don't stay up past your bedtime now. But
hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy. She's watching. We got Bear down here. He's excited. He's excited that Mom's here. So he's hanging out with us. But yeah, Carter and I are all swagged out right now. You probably can't see it from where you are, but Carter's got his Black Mountain hoodie on that he picked up today.
I can turn around so you can see the back.
Yeah, you can get a pretty good view of it. And then obviously I got my Black Mountain hat on right now that I just picked up.
Amy just outed Mom's nickname.
Wheeze. Hey, Wheeze, Amy said.
Hi, Amy.
But yeah, anyway.
Black's logo is really cool.
Yeah, and it's not completely the same logo. Like, they did change it a little bit. They added the since 1935. I don't remember that on their old T-shirts, but it's more or less the same logo they had when we were kids, and that's one they've had at least since like the 90s. I don't know exactly when they made it, but it's a good logo, and this is a corduroy hat.
What's their nickname?
So.
Because something about sunshine.
Well, they call it the Black Sheep of the White Mountains, but Nanny, Kathy, and Ron, their nickname for it is Sunshine Mountain.
You think they came up with that nickname, or is that something that has always existed?
I'm sure it was maybe something that existed, or at the very least something just amongst their ski club. Like, I'm sure it wasn't just them. I'm sure it was a bigger group thing, but
Right.
But I do think maybe it's a more general term about Black Mountain, because if you say that to people, they generally know what you're saying.
Well,
like, they're not caught off guard by it.
They have it in the lodge there. There's a sign that says "Ski in the Sun, Black Mountain." That was one of their advertisements for a while. Ski in the sun. So.
Well, that makes sense. We had a beautiful sunny day today. We went with Tanner. Shout out Tanner. Also, he's also been on the show. So.
And there was enough snow and everything?
Tons of snow. Not the whole mountain, but for the areas that they had been making snow. So me and Carter had been there, and they didn't have a ton open. And then I was there on Monday with Ryder, and they had a ton of snow made, but not a lot open. Well, this time, everywhere where they had been making snow, it was all open. So it was quite a bit, not 100% open, but quite a bit open. But we had a good time.
See, I took a picture of my T-shirt that I have, and don't mind the wrinkles in the T-shirt. But
yeah,
instead of skiers, this is a T-shirt. Just got sheep.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Black Sheep of the White Mountains.
And now there's nothing on it?
There's
Well, now it just says Black
yeah.
Mountain since 1935. It's got some skiers. I think the one with the logo with the skiers on it is. I think that's like an old logo too. I think that T-shirt is like a different design just for that T-shirt. But that was the T-shirt that they sold like our entire childhood. They sold the same T-shirt. Yeah. So cool that we have one.
Cool that the hat's more retro style, though.
Oh, yeah. It's like a throwback, the corduroy. Anytime you see a corduroy, it's definitely,
Throwback.
It wants to be throwback. The thing is that'll bum me out because I have actual old corduroy hats. The old corduroy, they're not like as thick a cords, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
The newer ones have a lot thicker, more rugged cords, which, they still look good, but it's not... You can spot it from a mile away if it's actually retro or not. But I think it looks all right. I was saying I don't know if I would probably wear it again with this sweater, even though they're both blue. I don't know if it really I don't know if they're really complementing each other that well. When you threw in the white from the headphones, it really ties everything together with the sweater. But
well, Amy wants to know if you got anything good for Christmas.
yeah, what did you get? Enough talking about my sweater. What did you get for Christmas?
Well, I'm not wearing it, but I did get a new Google Fitbit.
Oh, nice.
And I'm tracking my steps. I'm tracking my sleep. I'm tracking my heart rate. It's kind of cool.
That's cool.
I had an old one when they first came out, and I haven't had one since. So it's kind of cool to have another one.
And it links right to your phone. And
yes.
You can take phone calls and text messages on your watch.
Yeah, you can get all your messages and check.
Guess we know who got the favorite gift.
No, I'm not saying it was favorite. I got a cool high-vis sweatshirt from Carter.
I was just joking. But
In our picture, of course, our Disney picture that we got early, which Amy knows about with the train. But then Caleb and Calvin fill our stocking. So I got a stocking full of treasures and a Santa for my collection because I love Christmas. So anything Santa, I collect.
And Curtis got you that big Santa this year, too.
Yeah, like a woodland Santa. So that was cool.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff. I was going to have you pull up the picture of the Lego tree, Carter, that I sent. Basically, we collect a lot of Legos, and that's just what that's what we've like had a pact kind of to get each other for Christmas for years now. Is just instead of buying somebody something that they may or may not want, we all want Legos. Like, let's not, there's no hemming and hawing about it. We all want them, so that's what we get each other. And
I was just gonna.
Have you ever? Oh, there's the picture. That's my picture that I got.
Yeah, so this picture we got, we picked it up while we were in Florida at the end of summer here. But it used to be in the Fort Wilderness cabin. Now they're tearing all the cabins down. They're rebuilding new ones. So this picture they had at the antique mall for sale, and so Curtis and Carter picked that up
As a surprise. It means something to all of us.
Yeah, well, we spent a lot of time in those cabins.
We did.
It's almost like your vacation home
only not your home. But if we weren't in our camper, we were in those cabins. So
yeah,
we just fell in love with that picture and saw it for sale. So we were like, let's. Actually, the boys surprised us. So they were like,
well, it was kind of hard to surprise you because we were all driving home in the same car, so we had to fit it in the car.
yeah. But I mean, you surprised me at the place and asked, hey, Curtis and Carter want to get this for you guys,
Yeah.
Can you think we can fit it? It just barely fit on the top.
When there was 5 of us jammed in the Suburban with all of our luggage, and then we put this giant painting
on the top of the luggage.
yeah.
It's funny.
There's barely any room in that car, but we did it. We made it all the way back from Florida.
Yep. And now that's hung in our living room, so that's like the big
hanging over the couch, and it's a good picture.
But for a normal, like a person that other people, it might not have meaning, but for us, it has a lot of meaning.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the thing about any art, though. Like, you can go into somebody's house and be like, no, I don't really get it, not really my thing. But yeah, that's the deal. Like, we have an appreciation for it because of where it came from, and the picture itself. It's a picture of Fort Wilderness, something that we never got to see. But did Dad say he got to see it?
Yes. Yeah, he
Fort
went
Wilderness,
when he was little. So
yeah, they used to have a train that went around the whole campground, and that's what the picture is of.
Some of the tracks are still there. We've found those.
And at least I remember like a bridge or two. Like there's some evidence of it left, but it's just kind of cool because, you go to the campground and you're staying in the cabin and you're enjoying what's currently there. But then at the time, you could still get pretty close to River Country, which was the abandoned water park in the campground. And so Dad was showing us all the stuff he remembered from when he was a kid. like River Country. And then it's cool to have this photo as a reference, or it's a painting, but it's a reference for what used to be there. So, okay, Carter's got our Lego Christmas tree pulled up. This is, I stacked all the Lego boxes in front of the Christmas tree just to get a picture of them all. But
That's
was
not even the sets that I got. That's only
Right.
Yeah, Carter had taken
3/4
his
of them.
home, so I missed out. This was the day after Christmas. You can see I had built some of my Legos, and it was the day after Christmas. But I've now completed my Dark Millennium Falcon, my Rocket Raccoon, my tractor, and my jungle exploration truck.
Oh my gosh, 4?
Yeah, I think I've
Already?
got 2 left, but yeah, you can see Rocket's already built there. The tractor's built. The exploration truck's built. If you look
Dad
at
might build that Snow White house there, that
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah, you can build. Well, so yeah, my Dark Millennium Falcon there. You see the box for that? That was
yeah, he already built that.
my big one. I literally just finished it before I left. I was saying to Allie, I haven't had time to appreciate it yet. I finished it and I left.
Yeah.
I gotta sit and appreciate it for a minute.
Now we have some other Millennium Falcons, I think, right?
Yeah, we've got a couple, so it'll be kind of fun to see what it looks like. I want to get out one of the regular ones that's the same size. We've got the massive one.
Yeah,
but
that
then,
used to be in your room.
yeah. But then there's also like a regular sized one that'll be like the same size as this black one. So
Now, have you given a view of what the Lego room looks like so viewers actually know, like, the scope of this Lego obsession that all of you guys seem to have?
I think if you're a hardcore viewer, you probably have seen it, but I don't think it's made. I don't think we've shown it in all of its glory recently. So
Because there is one section that shows Chris's, your dad's Legos from when he was a kid, which are totally retro, totally different.
super old.
Like a town section, and then all the city that you guys have built over the years. It's just massive. Just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally an entire. It's the largest bedroom in our house, and it's completely filled, from door to door, wall to ceiling.
The problem is we don't have any good pictures of the actual Lego room itself.
Well,
just pictures.
that's what I was saying. We haven't really unveiled it in all of its glory on the internet, which we should. We should just post its own video, a tour of the Lego room, and if there's anybody out there that wants to see it, let us know in the comments. If people really want to see it, maybe I'll get to it a little bit quicker. But it is a crazy collection. But that's what we all did for Christmas. We all got each other Legos, and we've been building them the past couple days.
I think it's a good hobby. I mean, and there's a lot of adults that are collectors now. If you go on YouTube,
I think it's majority
crazy.
adult collectors. I think there's more adults than kids that collect right now.
Yeah.
That's how it seems. But I mean, I don't know. You got to have a hobby. You got to spend your money somewhere. Everybody wants to say, it's entertainment.
Right.
It's at the end of the day, like whatever your hobby is, whatever you get joy out of, it's entertainment. And so it's no different than paying for ESPN, whatever you want to get into. So
they could also be considered an investment technically. I mean, because if you were to resell them,
that's
some of them
also
are worth
true.
A lot of money.
They have like a guaranteed value, right? When you buy them at a certain price, once that set retires, as soon as it's retired, its value is going to be more than what you paid for it, right? So,
yeah.
I don't know. There is like an inherent value with them, but anyway, it's something that we've all kind of done together since we were little kids, and
I think we've always had some form or fashion of a Lego room.
Yeah.
It started out with just a Lego table for building, and then we had like a quote unquote guest room because you guys shared a room, and we used that as a Lego room. We put them in the basement for a time, like had a room down there. So it's, when you have a collection, you have to have the collection out. Like,
well, it's just what would be the fun of it if it was all in boxes,
Right.
It's cool, and just because there's all 6 of us now, we all collect Legos together. it ends up being a massive collection, and yeah, it's unique, and why not have it on display? You know, it'd be kind of sad to have it in boxes. So
Right. But you were just talking about it brings you joy, like
yeah,
and we're in the Christmas season, sort of ending, but that's sort of my favorite season is Christmas and the holiday and decorating for Christmas, and so we were having that conversation because your last
Yeah.
podcast you were saying how some people aren't as into Christmas and more humbug and
but you're super Christmas. Christmas is your Super Bowl.
yeah.
Yeah, you go hard.
Well, that's what you say, but I just think why not? It's like a fun. I know, fun to decorate. Everything, changes in your house. You put the lights up, the tree up. It can be fun, and for us, we're just talking about. Amy asked me what the gifts were and stuff, but we really it's about all our family. We had 3 different Christmases.
Yeah.
With
By the time
different-
everybody's done coming over to visit, you've had like 3 different parties throughout the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, it's fun having everybody over that you don't see all the time. And then everybody brings food, and you're making cookies and
Visiting. We did Christmas Eve we had cousin Christmas.
yep.
And we did all kinds of games, and we
Cookie
did the
baking.
cookies, and we ate food and just had a good time all around. And
Yeah, it was a good day. I think I actually had to go get my hair cut.
oh yeah,
I missed out on some of the games, but I did get to make cookies, which I don't know. That's just a big part of Christmas for us, making cookies. Wouldn't feel the same if you didn't do it.
aw, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny too is I didn't even think of this. Dad and I technically had 3 Christmases, but you guys had even more because you went to your girlfriend's homes or your fiance's home and had a different Christmas. So it depends. And Calvin went to 2. He went to a Christmas party at Ashlyn's house and then a Christmas party at Ashlyn's grandmother's house. So he had 5 Christmases technically.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's that like now that we're all old and everybody disappears at times, and sometimes we're all gone. Like we're just everyone disappears.
And that can be tricky. I think it's gotten a lot easier, but sometimes if we want to all be together, all you boys, then we'll plan something on a different day to kind of like we didn't do Thanksgiving this year because
Yeah.
everyone was somewhere else.
We did it on an off day.
We did it on an off day, and that's when we did the gingerbread contest.
Yep.
And but it was just, we'll make a point to try to do an off day. But honestly, what I'm thankful for is we do get together as a family. We try to do a family dinner about once a week.
Yeah.
I feel really fortunate that everyone lives close enough that we can do that. And then, so that means when holidays come around and you guys get busy, it's okay because,
Yeah.
we do get together.
Yeah.
We're also always doing things like Curtis's house, his new house that he bought. We're all over there together working and
Yeah, that was busy right before Christmas too. We were all
Yeah.
doing that.
gutting Curtis's house. It's
Yeah.
too bad he's not here to. We'll have to talk more about his house when he's here. He can tell us more about gutting it and stuff. But
Yeah.
I saw a reel that was somebody talking about that, how if you're all worried because your kids aren't going to be there on Christmas, then you have a really dysfunctional family, because if that's the only time you're going to see them the whole year, then you got other problems.
you get bigger things to worry about than Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're just constantly doing things together, and we generally like to all hang out together too. Like that's why we're all doing things together, because people don't want to be left out.
Like you and Carter went skiing today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not that we didn't invite everyone else. Everyone else was invited, but Calvin had been working all night last
Overnight,
night,
yeah.
so he was too tired, and Curtis he had to get back to work at some point. It's a kind of a weird time at Christmas because
Some people have it off and some people don't.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like I honestly kind of forgot it was even Friday today. I really didn't really didn't know what I knew I had the day off, and that's about it. Didn't really register that it was Friday until I was looking at the calendar, and I was like, yeah, Friday, why don't we do a pod? Friday pod, bring it back.
Yeah. Well, we normally we were doing every Friday for a while there, but I just figured because it was a holiday, everybody was going to be so busy that we might not.
Yeah,
Get
well,
to one today,
there was a
but-
good chance of it, but we ended up. If I front load my day, like today, we got up and went skiing, so I front loaded the day. So now this afternoon, like I wasn't looking for plans or for anything to do. I was like, went skiing today, go home and take it easy, and then we end up getting home, and I was sitting in Carter's living room, and I was like, hey, we're not doing anything tonight, are we? You want to do a podcast? So then we like, yep, let's roll it. But Amy's commenting some more, asking, is Curtis filming the project? He is filming his project. He's been working on it, so.
Whether
Yeah.
that footage will ever see the light of day, that's to be
It
determined.
will.
I think it will eventually. I think,
Yeah.
Save it up, and it'll be like a documentary when it, at some point when people feel like editing it. You'll just have a lot to watch, that's all. A lot of content.
It's about a 200-year-old home, and it needs a lot of work. So they've been ripping out the bathroom and getting that ready to put new not appliances, but tub, toilet, sink in. And they had to you had to jack up the floor. You were there, right, Carter?
I was helping him a little bit. They jacked up a lot of the floor when I wasn't there, though I didn't get to see a lot of the jacking. But
Yeah. So we'll be spending a lot of time over there, I think. But that's okay. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, I don't know if you put that out. Carter and Allie bought this home together now, and so Curtis is moving on to another home in Brookfield.
yeah,
Yeah, I think we all thought that was just implied. But it doesn't hurt to clear it up.
I don't think that it's ever been explicitly mentioned that this was my house now. But
Well, Carter's
we
getting
might
married,
not.
though.
We might not be at Carter's house right now. You don't. I'm in Star Wars
Yeah.
land. You guys are in a ski lodge.
this is a podcast.
This
studio.
this is the studio, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
could be anywhere.
But 4 months from now, Carter's getting married.
Wow,
That's not very long,
it's coming right
Yeah.
up.
It's gonna go fast, yeah.
Gonna go fast.
And you guys have some work to do for a guys'
Bachelor party.
weekend, yeah.
Bachelor party. Yeah, I don't know what we were talking about. I guess J Peak. Maybe we're gonna do something up there for a weekend.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Carter's staying out of the planning.
Yeah, it's a lot to plan. I feel bad because Colin could be listening right now. We got a decent amount of people, 8 people listening. So,
8 people. Holy shit! Breaking the
good
chart.
chance Colin's one of them. I feel bad because I told him we'd be there either come visit him in December or January, and now we're almost to January, and I still don't have any concrete plans
Oh,
because
yeah.
I was supposed to plan it, and I haven't done it yet.
Oh
so.
my gosh, Colin, your baby. She's gorgeous. We saw all the Christmas photos.
Super cute photos.
So cute. Oh my gosh, they were so cute.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, in terms of making a plan, we haven't made any plan for your bachelor party yet either. So
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm bad at planning.
yeah, I know. Well, every time I ask you about your bachelor party, you won't say yes to anything. So that kind of makes it a little hard to make a plan for when you won't say yes to anything.
Yeah.
I think he wants you guys to do it.
You just want it to be a surprise. You don't know what
Yeah.
you're gonna do.
Yesterday Dad was we were talking about it at Curtis's house. You weren't there, and Mom asked, "What do you want them to do? You want them to surprise you or not?" And I said, "Well, they can come up with an idea, but then you can screen it past me. I can screen the idea, And Dad goes, Jesus Christ, Carter, you're a fussy bitch.
Yeah. I mean, no kidding. I just, I don't know. I either, the thing is, I know how I would like to have fun, but it's not how you would like to have fun.
Well, you guys all want to go skiing.
Yeah,
Oh, and you
but
went to J Peak. There's an entire, well, this isn't your kind of fun, but I was going to say there's an entire water park.
yeah, like it's
Maybe
just,
that's not bachelor party appropriate.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know what Carter wants to do. That's why, like, if for my money, if I was gonna gamble on what he would enjoy the most, that's why I keep saying Xbox party, night in. We order pizza and we play Xbox. You know, if I was gonna be a gambling man and just wanted to make Carter happy, that would be my guess.
I'll go real into the weeds with this analogy because I just heard somebody talking about TV shows versus movies.
Okay.
I'll start with the TV shows versus movies part. This guy was talking about Yellowstone and talking about how bad of a show it really was because it was good when he was watching it, and goes for a lot of TV shows. It's good while you're watching it and you're into it, and then after it's over, you don't remember any bit of the TV show, like maybe a bit here or there. When you watch a good movie, you remember the whole movie. Like this, you remember exactly what happens. I don't know if you feel that way, but
what's
Yeah.
the point of the analogy? I understand
Right.
what
so
you're saying.
I'm
yeah.
just so I'm gonna compare it. So I'm just
Okay.
saying you
Yeah,
get that,
I get you.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm with you.
So being at home here and sitting down and just rotting at home playing video games is like a TV show where it's really good when I'm doing it and watching it. But then after the fact, it's like, well,
I could have done something better.
It's
and
lame because you don't have a good memory. of it.
then when you go out like skiing today, you'll be like, oh, I remember that skiing that day and how cool it was when we were, even though it's not something I would do, sit on that deck at the Lost Bow cabin on the mountain on the side of the mountain there at Black and watch the chairlift go by. I mean,
Yeah,
it's more like watching a movie where it's a better
there's
it's a better-
highlights
It's
of the
a
day.
better memory. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
afterwards.
well, I mean, I completely agree.
So that's where, but generally most of the time,
You're a homebody.
yeah, in my head, I'd rather be sitting here doing this. But as far as an experience goes, that's the way I feel about the experiences after the fact.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I agree. I think if you're just doing the same old, it's just not going to be a standout. You're not going to be like, oh, remember how sick our bachelor party was? and again, I feel like that's the reason to do something stupid. Like my big idea that I've said 100 times now is we fly to Las Vegas, no hotels. We just fly to Las Vegas, we go crazy, and then we fly out. That's what I said we do. Because like, that's heinous. That's crazy. You'll remember that. I don't know, but that's
Yeah, I feel like that's if you do something like that, that's where you get into spending a lot of money, or you could easily get into spending a lot of money.
Well,
doing
are you
something
gonna
like that.
gamble? Like, are you there to gamble? So-
what I would do is try and book a show at the Sphere because I want to see the new Sphere. So that would be a large chunk of your trip. But ultimately, I think you fly in, you get an Uber, and you pick a couple of restaurants you want to go to, and you have your show at the Sphere, and then you go back to the airport and leave.
It's
Like that's kind of how I would look at it. Like I would plan the entire thing before I even landed there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
That
Yeah.
probably would have been the thing to do. I didn't even think of it at the time, but the Eagles were playing. I think they're playing in February at the Sphere.
Oh, really?
But the tickets, I'm pretty sure it's already sold out.
Yeah, the tickets were probably crazy even
Well,
before
it
they
was
got
like-
sold out.
It was like $1,000 for 2 nights and a ticket.
We'll be
Two
able
nights
to
there
see
and
the
a ticket.
Blue Man Group at the Sphere. That's more our wheel. That's something in our price range.
Yeah.
I heard the whole thing lights up blue, so should be pretty sick.
Or you could go down to the Rochester Opera House and see Bob Marley on Tuesday night.
That's true too.
He's there this
That's
Tuesday.
a world class experience.
I think so. Or
He's,
maybe it's this weekend.
He's always playing around here
Yeah.
in New England. You can
He's
always
awesome.
find a show of him. Someday
He's more for my generation, I feel like. But
Well, I think the thing is, what you personally like about him is it's like a cleaner comedy. Like, I wouldn't say he's 100% clean. Like, he'll swear and stuff, but it's like everything he talks about, it's all family related, and it's not like super raunchy.
Right.
You know, like
I
it's not
never
super
thought of that
it's
before,
not
but
super
yeah.
dirty or raunchy. And it's just relatable New England family stuff. And
Yeah.
and so like so it's right up your alley. You know, just like you really like Jimmy Cash too.
Oh, yeah.
Which we saw him open for Bob Marley a couple years ago now, which we didn't know at the time who it was. At the time, we're like, hey, look, it's that guy from TikTok. But now obviously we know him a little bit better. But just, you know, again, it's cleaner and it's more relatable to what you're into. He's a janitor at a school, so he's
Right.
got a lot of school-based
humor.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but I do think Bob Marley is probably one of the best comedians out there. Like I
New
wish
England.
well, I wish he would do. I think if he toured outside of New England, I think he'd be a contemporary with all these big comedians you see on Netflix right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like he just,
I do too.
He's not out touring. He doesn't have a big popular podcast. You know, he's like he's figured out how to travel. You know, he's got like a 3 or 4 hour traveling radius that he'll travel and do shows in, and that's it. Because he's like wants to be home in his own bed with his family. He's kind of figured out something miraculous, like in terms of a comedian. I don't know. Like he's a guy that's known, big comedians that are really successful and raking in a lot of dough on their podcast. They all know of him from when he was younger. You know, there was a time when he toured the country, but now he's just local New England guy. And there was an episode of Joe Rogan where somebody mentioned him. Another New England comic mentioned Bob Marley, and they're like, yeah, he really figured something out. He stays where they love him and stays close to home. You know, I don't know. But
Is Joe
That's awesome.
Was Joe familiar with Bob Marley?
yeah, they knew who he was.
Well, because
he's
Joe
not a
was
no-name
from
guy.
Boston area.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, that's true.
and Bob Marley, I've never seen the Boondock Saints, but that's like a cult movie. Some people love it. Bob Marley's in that, so like he did when he was younger. He did rise through the ranks of stardom to the point where he was in a movie. You know, so in order to do that, you have to be putting in some serious effort and touring all around. And so you know, those comedians of that generation, the Joe Rogan people, they all know of him because he was a big name back then, you know.
He actually came to my college when I was in college.
Oh,
and
really?
so he's right around my age, maybe 1 or 2 years older. And so I had seen him way back then. We're talking 30 years ago. And then we recently went and saw him actually last summer, and we had gone with you guys a couple of years ago. So I hadn't seen him in person probably since college. So, you know, it was sort of interesting to see from before to now.
See how much he's grown up, or
Yeah, and change. Because back in college, his humor was college humor.
Yeah.
Now his humor is, you know, being a father and having these aging parents. And,
yeah.
yeah. So,
It's just a funny thing. I don't know, but he's a funny guy. It'd be cool to. My dream is somehow I want to just get us in touch with Greg in the Morning Buzz. Can we just be the Greg in the Morning Buzz after show? We'll get them to Zoom call in, you know, because they do have an after show podcast, but it's kind of crap and nobody listens to it.
oh, I've never heard it.
Yeah, nobody has.
All the guys from all the characters from the Buzz do the show, right? It's not,
The after show.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, it's like half an hour, 45-minute after the show podcast, and they're looser because it's not on the radio. That's what they say, meaning they're allowed to swear, you know, on it, which they don't really do a ton of. You know, I don't know.
What
just,
if we sent them an email?
I mean,
and
we could
attach
try.
the show?
I just don't know how to get their attention. I think the problem is there's a lot of like snootiness, like people everyone's looking for a handout, especially in terms of like media, like wanting people to help promote them and give them a spot. Everyone's looking for a handout, so you know, nobody wants to just if you get that email saying, hey, you know, check out this we're New England guys, check out our show, you know, they're just going to be like trash, you know, losers, you know. That's because that's how I would react.
You never know, though.
You never know, but I figure one of these days I'll go out on the what luau. I'll go out on luau on the lake and I'll corner Greg by the bathrooms. And then I'll really lay into him. I'll give him the scheme. I'll be like, listen, Greg, I know we all know you're about to have a heart attack any day now. What's gonna happen in the show after that?
You just want to come on after Greg in the Morning Buzz and this show comes on. You're saying?
Well, no, I'm just saying I think it'd be nice to get affiliated with them because they are part of iHeartRadio. They have big connections in the industry. So it'd be nice to somehow get affiliated with them. So then you'd have an agency and connections. You know, a way to work up the ladder.
Who's the new girl on the show? So there's
I don't
there's
know.
Kayla, and then there's another new girl.
I've heard her on a couple times, but I don't know who she is.
Because I'm like, damn it, I wish Caleb had been hired. Because it could have been
I know.
Kayla and Caleb.
I would have been so great on the show. They don't even know. But
I know.
they thought they're like, oh, we'll get Jimmy Dunn in a little bit here. We got this new girl. We're gonna get in now. You guys could have just had me. I would have been more dedicated. I would have been. I don't know.
You got to be a disc jockey before you can go on the radio show like that, though, right?
To be honest, I don't know if they do anything anymore. I think like it sounds like Kayla still has work she has to do, but I don't know how much anybody actually has to do anymore.
Well, you know how she got on the show, right?
No.
Well, wasn't she like an intern?
She was going to school at UNH, and then she was interning at the station there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she would come on the show or if she was just doing a radio station at night.
But she's like more like a real radio engineer. You know.
Well, she was like playing music and stuff and doing that like I said, a disc jockey.
Intern, yeah.
That for certain, the disc thing doesn't really exist anymore. You're not flipping through.
I understand.
Well, that's
it's
just a term.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm just saying you're the person that's playing the music.
Yeah, which I've done. I did it in school.
Yeah.
But you know, anyway, that's my pipe dream.
It's coming your way.
You never know.
I know it. Just like that Megabucks or Mega Millions is coming our way.
Yeah.
Amy's like, get your Megabucks tickets. Well, I think it's over $1 billion now for Mega Millions.
Billion with a B.
Yeah. I bought some on Friday last week, I think, or Thursday for the Friday drawing, but obviously didn't win.
I got some for tonight.
I just can't bring myself to do it. Like,
well,
to
you
me,
can't win if you don't have a ticket.
I know, but it's just like I'd rather just not even do it. Like, it's just it's like.
But when it gets this high, like over $1 billion, I mean, why not give it a shot?
I love your optimism, but for me, I just can't. I'm just like, you know. But then I'd be the first one to be real pissed off if I didn't win anything. Like,
or if you heard on the news, winning ticket bought at Level Lake Food Center.
Yeah, it was me. I could have been me. They were there at 3:40. I could have been there at 3:45. That could have been me. But yeah, I don't know. I just not into gambling like that, really.
It seems like the winners come from the bigger states. California, Ohio won something.
I think it's a numbers game, right? Just if there's a lot of people there, there's a higher chance somebody's going to win there.
Right.
More tickets sold. I do think it seems pretty random. Like there's somebody that won one in Wolfboro not too long ago. Remember? It was a, I don't know. You hear about it from time to time. It's not,
Right.
You know what I heard on speaking of Greg in the Morning Buzz, going back to that, something I heard on the radio this morning, it just popped into my head. But this guy called into Greg in the Morning Buzz, and he goes, I was an electrician, and this was about 20 years ago, and I was in the town of Brookfield, New Hampshire, and I was
What?
and he goes, I was doing electrical work, and this woman had a chimpanzee in her house.
In Brookfield?
Yeah. And he goes, that thing came in and started hugging on my leg. And I said, get your monkey off me. And she goes, oh, don't mind him. He won't bother you. And I said, nope, I'm not working until you get that monkey off me. And then he goes, and let me tell you what, everybody in the town of Brookfield knew this woman because of her monkey. And so he said on the radio that this was 20 years ago. So certainly I've never heard of somebody with a monkey.
No.
But I thought I would ask you if you had ever heard a legend.
I've never heard of that in Brookfield. However, do you remember Tiger King?
Yeah.
Well, there's a different episode only.
Chimp Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I haven't watched it, but I heard all about it.
It's the same identical thing. People are nuts over chimpanzees, and they can be dangerous. And
Oh, yeah, I would never
honestly,
keep one.
beyond the danger point, it's just so sad that they're in these
boxed up.
cages. Yeah.
Isn't that something you would say as a little kid, that you wanted monkeys when you were really little? That's something you used to tell us.
Well, there was I don't know. It must have been a thing. Oh, Coco, the gorilla that could do sign language, was a
Okay.
big thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so
And
then,
Jane Goodall was new, right?
yes,
That was like a
so
big thing.
lots of pictures in the news, and so I would see them and think how adorable. But I'm glad I never got
Yeah.
one.
Well, it's one of those things that, like, at first you're like, oh, how fun would that be to have a monkey? Like, they're cute and fun. But
Yeah.
then you think about it for half a second. You're like, nope, never. No monkeys.
They're actually a wild animal.
They're
yeah.
terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Chimp Crazy. I haven't watched it yet, but
I watched the whole thing. It's crazy.
Did-
It's definitely chimp crazy.
I was just gonna say I listened to the guys that made the show. I listened to a podcast they were on talking about it, so I didn't feel like I had to go watch the show after they kind of spoiled it on their podcast. But I heard some people said it was better than Tiger King. Did you think it was better? Or?
To me, it was along the same lines, but there was more of a story. I think the people weren't. They were definitely chimp crazy, but Tiger King was a whole different kind of crazy. I think.
Yeah, nobody could have guessed Tiger King would have been that crazy. But
Yeah.
the chimp crazy one, you can just see right out the gate. Like, everyone's heard a story of somebody getting attacked by a chimp,
Yeah.
by a pet chimp. You know,
And that's what's in chimp crazy, which
Yeah.
is sad. Yeah.
yeah. The woman that was on Oprah, they said she's in the show.
Yep.
Did you get to see her face in the show, or?
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty bad.
Oh. Yeah. You see parts of it. It's like
In a
partially,
shadow.
yeah,
Yeah.
shielded it, and that is heartbreaking too.
Oh, it's terrible.
But
Well,
and a couple other people were just mauled and hurt, but not the way that one woman
disfigured the way
Yeah.
this woman was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't keep wild animals as pets.
Right.
That's the moral of the story. Speaking of pets, I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about how like it's only in recent times for human beings that if you see a stranger, like, you're not in immediate danger, right? For a lot of history, it was so crazy and rough being a human. If you saw another human that you didn't recognize, like, that was an imminent threat, right? Like, this guy's from a different tribe, enemy,
Oh yeah.
right? Because you know everybody that's in your tribe back in the day. So they were saying that humans, we've kind of forgot about this, and now it's like not that big a deal. You might still have an inside gut feeling, but you tell yourself, oh, it's just a stranger, no big deal. Just somebody I don't know, right? But what they're saying is dogs haven't forgot this, and that's why when they see somebody they don't know, they freak out and go crazy because they're like, no, we got to kill this guy. We don't know him. He's not in our tribe. He must die.
Or at least we must bark at him.
Yeah, I got.
Go nuts.
You have to know. There's an unknown man. We don't know him. That's like ingrained in a dog's DNA still. They didn't forget.
It's funny
even though
though,
we did.
like compared to when I was younger to now, I feel like just in the way the world has become, when you're out in public and you're in a strange setting or a place you're not familiar with, you are a little more on alert just because of society and the way things have been going.
Do you think it's because you're older though? Maybe a little bit too.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately, yes. So you think about those things more. You hear things in the news and then you're like,
Yeah. Well, because certainly, like I don't watch the news. You know, I don't watch or pay attention. I don't know or care what's going on. And I think most people when they're younger tend to be that way. So it's not on top of mind. Like going skiing today, I didn't sit down and watch an hour and a half of chairlift disasters before I went skiing. You know, I just went skiing and enjoyed it. But I could have made myself paranoid.
This is a perfect segue into what I've been pulling up here on the computer. Have you said you haven't watched the news, but do you see anything online about the drones?
oh
Apparently,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't watch the news. Yeah, I actually have seen about the drones. People
Well,
said
and
they're
there's
like the
so
size
many
of a car.
different conspiracy theories on what exactly is happening.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, have you heard
The
anything?
government
Yeah, the
What?
government.
knows where they came from. They know what they are and they know where they came from. That's what Trump
And
said.
the part I heard was it was something about nuclear.
We lost like a missile or something,
Yes.
and they're trying to find it.
Yeah.
Is that what you heard?
Well, that's partially what I heard, but also there's this guy. They don't know. It's either they're lying, or I don't know. That's one of the conspiracy theories is that they're looking for a missing nuke. I have heard them say that they don't know what the drones are. That they're not our drones, and they could be. They don't believe that they're from a foreign adversary. It's not like the drones. They don't believe the
So
drones are a danger
they're-
to us
So
from
a
another country.
local company or something.
Well, they don't. I don't even know that they have any good videos or pictures of the drones, but I'll show you a. This is a clip that Joe Rogan posted to Instagram. Let's see.
He's got all kinds of crap posted. That guy with the guitar. I've seen that guy a bunch of times.
Yeah.
What's Joe posting him for?
Let's see.
All right, this is the drone.
No, it ain't.
No, it's not.
Oh, there's no clouds.
Quiet.
This thing right
That's
there.
a UFO,
Look at it. Look at
dude.
it on the camera. It's like a dome.
That's a UFO.
Quiet.
What the fuck? Like literally,
Look
dude,
at that
that's
thing.
weirder than
Dude,
the
this
guy right
video
there.
could be anything.
But this is all the videos
Dude, are we
of the
watching
drones.
A
Shut
comet
up,
or
shut
shooting
up.
star falling?
No, that's not moving quick enough. There's no tail. That's a UFO.
There's no blue or red
Look,
lights.
something's coming off.
It's a baby wheel.
That's what it reminds me of. But if
hold on.
a drone that's that high up in the air could look like that,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
So
watch it here in a second.
Fuck is that?
Dude, this is nuts.
Look at the UFO.
Look how the light's going off in two sides, though.
Look, it's moving. Look at the lights are moving around it. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
It's hovering.
Oh my god.
I don't know. This
God,
just is
Look, it's
not
going
that
up and
interesting
taking
to me.
No fucking
oh
way.
well, look at the way it
What
went
the fuck? It
away.
just went out to space.
So
It
I
just
mean,
went out to space.
That okay?
up
Just
to
as I said, it's not very interesting. It got really interesting.
Hey,
Just
guys,
as I said, it's not very interesting.
yeah.
The way it took off into space. If we're gonna make the assumption that this video is legitimate, then that was kind of interesting the way it flew off into space. But you got more sources here.
I get more to the story.
Oh,
so
good.
I saw that video on Joe Rogan on his Instagram, and I also listened to a podcast where he talked to a some guy that was in the Air Force, and he was I don't know, I can't remember the specifics, but he was talking to a guy that was in the position to know about
UFOs.
not UFOs, but about the drones, and they don't. He basically said that they don't know what the drones are. They don't even.
Well, Trump said though that they do know. I don't
Yeah.
know. He said the government knows.
Yeah, he said they knew.
Well,
you
they're-
think that's a bluff?
they're
just
lying.
bluffing?
So back a couple months ago, I also listened to this Joe Rogan. I get a lot of information from Joe Rogan. But whether it's true or not, I think it's a good conspiracy topic. He was talking to this guy who used to work in the government and was in charge of all the unknown Air Force sightings. Like when the Air Force took pictures of UFOs, they'd send them to him, and he would review them and categorize them or whatever. He was the one who he saw any pictures or videos that the government had of
supposed UFOs.
supposed UFOs.
So what do you say about this video then?
This is a different video here, but this is him talking about the drones. So.
Okay. All right, let's hear what he says.
Yeah.
Former defense official recently issued this warning about the government's secrecy around UFOs.
Excessive secrecy has led to grave misdeeds against loyal civil servants, military personnel, and the public, all to hide the fact that we are not alone in the cosmos. If we approach the UAP topic in the same way as we as Americans have met other challenges, we can restore our faith in our government institutions. I believe that we as Americans can handle the truth, and I also believe the world deserves the truth.
Yeah, Fox.
Well, and wouldn't other countries be discussing all this too? And wouldn't other countries be coming out and saying, you know, we're not alone in the cosmos?
I
It's
I
not
don't know
just
what's
about
going on.
Americans.
I don't know what's going on with those videos. There's not enough there to make me jump to aliens. That video was really interesting, the way
I'm
that
not
thing
saying-
took off. But I don't, the way light works, the way the earth curves. I'm just saying.
They
I'm
could
just
have
saying.
shut the lights off.
Or like you're up at a certain height, right?
You're not
like-
going to see it.
Or like sometimes it looks like planes aren't really flying straight, but really, you know, the planes are. It's the Earth is round, and so if there's a dot over here and you put a dot over there and you draw a line from it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it
No,
could
I'm
look,
not saying
it could be some sort of optical illusion.
But then-
I don't know what it is, but
Did
I
you
wouldn't
guys
jump to
hear
aliens.
that other guy that said, on purpose, the government wants us to think aliens are coming?
Yeah,
because so
people
they're
keep saying
as
that.
another distraction.
Yeah,
don't know.
just to keep us talking.
So maybe it's real, maybe it's not. I don't.
But I mean, it could all be just a big misleading thing. But the way that guy was, I feel like after listening to him on Joe Rogan, if anybody would know that aliens are real, that guy would know.
And he said,
and what did he say?
What we just listened to.
"Oh, well."
That was him saying it. He didn't say shit.
I know he kind of danced
He didn't say
around
dog
it.
shit.
You didn't.
He
I
said
mean,
the Americans are ready to know.
no. I think he said that he
Something about we're
he's-
not alone.
yeah,
the
he's-
people have the right to know. He just
Yeah.
didn't. He didn't say.
He didn't say anything specific, but he danced around it in a way that I felt like was convincing enough for him to be saying that aliens are real.
I like that Amy said she misses Fear Factor because Carter's mentioned Joe Rogan so many times. I guess I was watching a YouTube video of all the Muppet movies ever made, and I guess there's a Muppets TV movie that Joe Rogan was in because it was made during the time Fear Factor was on. And
Dad and I were big Fear Factor fans back in the day.
yeah, I remember watching it. Not a ton, but a little bit back when it was on TV. Oddly enough, but anyway, it's just funny that Amy threw that in there because Carter mentioned him a bunch of times.
Well, again, back to Trump.
To aliens.
Trump said
Okay.
that if it really was a threat, the government would be on that threat. So
I think to some extent you could say he's just trying to give people peace of mind, you know, as
but I also think he would say, if you know, I don't think
maybe, but I think you know, there is incentive to keep people calm and just say, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know, if it truly was an issue, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like if it is an issue and a threat, we're not going to be able to help by panicking. So until the underground bunker is ready or our starship, so we can fly to a different galaxy. If these people are here to harvest our planet, I think we're screwed. I think they're just going to start harvesting. I think if aliens
either that we're all, you know, half breeds anyway. We don't know.
Do you think like they would have interest in me? Like I don't think you have any. I don't think any human would have the ability to fight off aliens, right? If these aliens are advanced enough that they came here, I don't think we have any physical ability to actually fight them. But like, do you think like, you know, you think like you could be like zany and peppy enough that they'd be like, you know, he's fun. We should just keep him around. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
That would be you. That would be
that's what I'm hoping for.
I don't think that, like you said, I don't think there's anything to worry about or think about because
Do you think they would hire me to like teach them like baseball and like all the earthly traditions?
no, I don't.
Teach them sports and movies, and I could teach them music. I could teach them all the best things.
I honestly don't think they care.
Teach them food. What if they came here and they had never known food because where they're from, they just inhale gas. They're just huffing gas on their planet. But they come here and we do like a ratatouille thing and we teach them food and they see like the colors in their mind and
I honestly,
I don't know.
I think us and ants are like us and aliens. You know what I mean? Like we're
I've heard
ants.
that
We're
before.
ants to the aliens.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, we're
what quarrel does an ant have with a boot?
yeah.
What's that from? Do you know what movie? No. Anyone? It's from the first Avengers movie. Because Loki shows up.
I thought you were gonna say Ant-Man.
Oh no, yeah! In the first Avengers movie, Loki
Is
shows up
Ant-Man
in
like a
Paul
Aven-
Rudd.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
that
he's an
Avengers?
Avenger. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's in Endgame and Big Avenger. He's actually the biggest Avenger because he turns into Giant Man, so he's the biggest Avenger. Fun fact.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Well, thanks, Carter, for that. Now we're gonna be contemplating aliens all night.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it for while. I don't know if it was yesterday. I came home screaming that aliens were real to Allie because I watched that video where that guy was.
I have a hard time getting excited about if aliens are real because, like, ultimately, it's nothing has happened yet to change anything in my day-to-day life.
Well,
Until something happens that's going to change my
Like
day-to-day life.
you come home and they're standing in your yard, or
Yeah, or like if I think there's the possibility that they could be standing in my yard. Like right now, I don't even think I don't think I'm gonna see a ship, let alone see an alien. You know what I mean?
what's
So I'm not
that,
really concerned.
Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with the aliens.
Predator.
They're like invisible.
Yeah.
So what if they're already here?
Oh, we're gonna
like,
start covering
doing
ourselves
that-
in mud. They're clicking around.
Yeah, clicking in the forest right near our
So
house.
I think we'd be lucky actually if if it was Predator, right? Because they hunt with honor, right? They have this whole thing. Well, that's like the whole bit, right? That's why Arnold Schwarzenegger has to kill him with a stick all covered
I'm
in
gonna
mud.
have to rewatch it now, Carter. Maybe that's that thing.
We go on a
Movie
Predator
marathon of
binge.
alien movies.
Oh, we do Alien too.
Yeah.
I
And,
love
well,
the Alien movies.
There's a new one that came out.
I know Alien Romulus. I haven't even seen it yet.
Me neither. But then also there's the corn one with Mel Gibson and
Oh, Signs.
Yes.
Signs is a fun one.
that's a creepy one.
Yeah, we talked about that on the podcast. The like a scarring movie, and that was one of the scarring movies of
That-
childhood.
How old were you guys when I let you watch it?
It was probably like fairly new, right? Like that's probably why we were watching it.
Well, no, because it has
Oh yeah, you're right. It does. It's got Kieran Culkin in it,
yes,
right?
Kieran Culkin.
So it's probably
and
a
he's
90s
older,
movie.
quite a bit older than you guys.
And it's got Joaquin Phoenix when he
Yeah.
was really young,
Yes.
before he had become Joaquin Phoenix.
Exactly.
So kind of fun. And yeah, anyway, it was a good movie, but there's a scene in the movie where it shows like shaky cell phone footage of an alien walking through the streets, and I had nightmares of that for a long time as a kid.
Another one, The Quiet Place.
Quiet Place, I didn't
1
see
and
the
2. Oh, 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, I saw it too. I didn't see the third one.
The third one's all right. The 1 and 2 are my favorite, but it's worth watching 3 because it takes place in a city. So
Is it? It's like the first day or something, right?
Yeah,
The third one.
Yes.
The beginning.
The beginning of the Quiet
did
Place.
you see it, Carter?
No, but I wanted to watch it. I just haven't done it yet.
I think again, like you were saying, Carter, the thing about movies, right? You can have just one movie. Because for me, the first Quiet Place is really good. I really enjoy it. I thought it was new,
Really well
different.
done, yeah.
Yeah, just a really well done movie, and I enjoyed it. Then the second one, I did have some hopes, because I liked the first one, so that obviously is going to set up for failure. But the second one didn't make me interested to watch the third. I didn't
Right.
care about it. But like Carter's saying, I'm glad that, I don't feel like I have to watch all the Quiet Place series. I can enjoy the first one and leave it at that. I don't have to go through and watch them all. You know?
Right.
And in that sort of same breath, like Back to the Future, I like the first one and I like the third one. I don't care about the second one.
And then what about Home Alone's?
Home
we just
Alone.
went through all the Christmas. So we're going to go from Christmas to Alien, but Home Alone, we always watch 1 and 2, but we never watch 3.
Well, because 3
Nice.
doesn't even have Macaulay Culkin in it. It's got some other dirtbag kid.
Yeah.
The thing I do like in Home Alone 3, it is a John Hughes production. I don't know if he just wrote it or if he directed it or if his name's only on it because it's called Home Alone.
He just wrote it.
He did write it, Home Alone 3.
Yeah, we were watching. Oh no, Home Alone 3. I'm not sure. I thought you were talking about the original Home Alone.
Well, so it's I'm fairly certain Home Alone 3 is the title of it. It's got a different kid in it. It's got a whole different cast, different family. But I'm fairly certain it's still attached to John Hughes. I don't know I don't know in what way, but it's still attached to him. But there's some good bits from Home Alone 3, like he has a pet rat, which I loved as a
we
kid.
had a
yeah,
pet rat.
because we had pet rats. So I
It was
loved it.
written and co-produced by John Hughes.
Oh.
Yeah, so there you have it. So it's really not that bad of a movie. It got a bad rap because everyone's like, it was a remake before remakes were a thing, right? They called it Home Alone 3. Really, it was just a remake of the original Home Alone, right? It was a little later on when cell phones were around and technology was a little better.
Yeah.
And
Well, and it's tough when the whole premise was a young kid, and then
and then he
the
grows
kid
up.
grows up, so you can't have it continue on like that.
Yeah.
Unless you're changing the premise of the whole thing.
Yeah, like I think you could have maybe we could have seen more Kevin McAllister movies if they
Right.
wanted to follow the McAllister family on some other adventures similar to like the Griswold family.
Yeah,
you
road
know.
trip.
Yeah, there's all the different vacation movies. You could have done Kevin in the family in a different setting. He doesn't have to be left home alone, but obviously, that idea nobody pitched it. I don't know, but
Home Alone 1 and 2 are the only Christmas movies I watched this year.
really,
Dad and I watched Christmas Vacation last night. And with Ashlyn too.
I was building my Lego in the kitchen, but listening to Christmas Vacation play is about the same as watching it for me because I've seen it enough times. So,
We still laugh.
yeah.
We've seen it every year, but
but
it's still
when
funny.
when Uncle Eddie goes, "Merry Christmas, shitter's full," like it's still fun when the cat explodes underneath the chair. It's just funny.
And the squirrels running through the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The neighbors. It's just funny. It's worth a yearly watch. Same with like that's why we do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles at Thanksgiving, Christmas Vacation at Christmas. There's certain movies they need a yearly watch because they're that good.
And a lot are John Hughes. And
Yeah.
we were having that conversation. Like, I'd love to know what his family and childhood was like because
Yeah.
he writes so well.
I think it's just
The comedy of family, you know?
and we're watching a video where the director of Home Alone was talking about the making of it. It's Christopher. Is it Chris Columbus or Christopher Columbus? I'm sure either is fine, but Chris Columbus directed it, and he was talking about how just reading the script, like you could totally see the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And
I saw that one. Yeah.
yeah, and so I just think certain people like they really understand a certain
The
art.
nuance.
Yeah, like an art medium. Like every part of it is different, or like there's been great playwriters throughout history. There's great songwriters throughout history. John Hughes just happens to be a great movie writer. Like maybe not the most dramatic movies, but these are
classics.
they're like pop songs of movies, is what I would say. His movies are. They're across the board for everybody, all ages and demographics. It should be fun to watch. That's where I kind of put his movies. And I don't know if there's anybody that has racked up as many hits as him in terms of writing and directing.
I know. We should make a list because there's so many.
Man, and I'd love to know if there's is there some other writer out there that I didn't know about that I'm a huge fan of,
Yeah.
because I can think off the top of my head, like the people that are in charge of things that I really like Star Wars. Obviously you have George Lucas that started it. Marvel, you have Stan Lee that kind of started it. He didn't really do the movies necessarily, but he's the one that kind of created Marvel. What's another example like that of
Maybe like 007 or
yeah,
I don't know.
well,
But a genre,
007's all kind of they're all kind of different. I'm just trying to think. Oh, I was going to say the Muppets, right? Like the Muppets, as long as Jim Henson was alive, it was one very clear art direction. You know what I mean? So there's certain artists like that I know because all their art goes together and all has the same kind of direction. And John Hughes falls into that category because we like so many of his movies. We know him by name, and but who else is out there that I don't know?
Maybe we can get some comments. We did get a write-in from Dad.
How many times can you leave a kid home alone? He says. Well, and if you watch the Home Alone 1 and 2, the second time he doesn't get left home alone. He makes it to the airport. He gets lost in the airport and he gets on the wrong plane.
Yeah, that was pretty genius, honestly.
Yeah.
For him to.
Well, and they did a good job of building the whole thing out, like how he's like, oh, my brother's place in New York, but they're not there because they're in Paris.
And he happens to have his father's credit card.
Or I guess Home Alone 2, they go to Florida, right? Home Alone 1 is Paris.
Yes.
Yeah, the family was going to Florida.
Yeah.
And he actually made it to the airport and ended up chasing what he thought was his dad onto the plane, but it was somebody else.
Yeah. What other Christmas movies?
We did do Christmas Carol. It's a Wonderful Life, of course. What were you home for?
I missed most of these. I was thinking about
4 Christmases.
I watched. I'd watched The Polar Express and some of the Grinch while we were making cookies.
Oh yeah. Calvin and Ashlyn and I watched Miracle on 34th Street.
Nice.
We watched the newer one with the little girl from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yep.
Yep.
I like that one better.
Yeah, that was good. I want to say we didn't touch any of the Santa Clauses this year.
Yeah. Well, the closest I came is I came over here one night and Allie was watching it upstairs, so I caught some
Yeah.
of the Santa Claus then.
We did actually watch the Santa Claus Christmas Day at Allie's house.
What you
Oh,
and
nice.
me were trying to pick a movie and we were between. Was that when we put Home Alone on?
I think so.
Yeah, because I said how about the Santa Claus, because I hadn't seen it in a while, and they were like, well, let's put on Home Alone. But I do like the Santa Claus. Like, it's a nostalgic movie for me.
But we used to when Calvin was younger, he would set up a lineup.
Yeah.
And
Well,
for the
so
whole month
the
leading to
thing
Christmas.
was, when we were little, there was the ABC Family 25 Days of Christmas
Oh,
countdown.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Well, that's what it started with, right? And so literally you would cut out a page from a magazine for us that had all the movies 1 through 25 every night until Christmas. It had what time they were on and what movie, right?
Yes.
And so
yeah.
so we would get this out and have it on the fridge, and because we were so obsessed with Christmas and movies and anything, we would get obsessive about things. That was like an obsession to watch the 25 Days of Christmas countdown. So 25 Christmas movies, that's a lot. So you end up seeing a bunch. But then I don't know if it went away when it changed from ABC Family to Freeform, or if it was because we just didn't have
the same cable.
yeah, like we had DirecTV for a while, and then we've had different kinds of cable throughout the years since, because everything went streaming, right? So
Right.
once everything went streaming, that's when Calvin would go through
And make a list.
Yeah, he would make a list of 25 movies, and he'd put them all in order. And like as you got closer to Christmas, were more of your favorites. But yeah, so it was like a curated list, and we'd watch one every night through December. But
Yeah. Dad said Die Hard. That was
Oh,
one-
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what was wicked funny about that too? I was saying,
I didn't finish it that
Well,
night, but you did.
I
Right?
did, because Dad, we put it on, and Mom's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I'll finish it," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I'll probably go to bed." And as soon as the movie came on, like I sat there just wide eyed and watched the whole movie again. Like you're saying, some movies are just that good. Like every moment of this movie is a moment that you have to sit there and watch, and you can't. There's no point where you can just get up and leave, because you would have been leaving during the best part of the movie. Every part of the movie is the best part of the movie.
Well, it's been a long time since I shouldn't say a long time, maybe a couple of years since we watched Die Hard, and I've only seen it probably one time, start to finish, myself, and that was another movie we watched. The last, I would say, half of Die Hard, because it was on cable. At Allie's
And
house.
you just get sucked in, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was sucked into it. I was watching it, but Allie's dad must have seen it a few times, because it got.
I'm sure he has.
It got to. He doesn't usually strike me as a type of guy that'll sit down and watch a movie, though. But
But that's the point of Die Hard.
that he remembered it, because came to the end of the movie, and it was when, I don't know if it was when he killed Hans, or if it was whatever it was, but he dropped his gun and he's sitting there and he's got his hands up,
Yeah.
and Allie's dad goes, "Oh, the old gun taped to the back trick," and I didn't know I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And then he pulls the gun out,
And so you were really amazed by this.
Well, I thought it
'cause
was
you'd never seen it before.
well, no, I have seen it before, but I obviously knew what happened in the end, that he ended up killing the guys there or whatever. But
For an older movie, it really holds up. Like the action for an older
So
action
good.
movie, yeah, it's really good. I wonder what year it was that it came out.
Yeah, I honestly don't know, but great movie. I didn't plan on watching the whole thing that night, but I
you know
had
what's
to.
so funny? I did see a meme. It was a welcome mat that you put on the doorstep, and it said, "Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?" with 2 arrows, and for the delivery person, put the package here if it's yes, and over here if it's no.
That's funny.
And the person showed the picture, and it was like half and half. So some delivery people thought it was a Christmas movie. Some people said no, not a Christmas movie.
I think it's such a great movie, in the setting of the movie is Christmas. So whether or not it is a Christmas movie,
Well, it's
you
the
can
same-
argue whether or not it's a Christmas movie. But what I was going to say is, I think it warrants a yearly watch. Why not watch it when it's in season
Right.
at Christmas time?
If Home Alone is a Christmas movie, Die Hard can be a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Home Alone doesn't really have much to do with Christmas.
The-
I
the
think,
only-
just
well,
as much.
The message and kind of spirit of Home Alone, I think, has like a Christmas message, right? It's so like
I guess.
A Christmas Carol is kind of the most classic Christmas story you can think of. And what happens? This grouchy old man learns a lesson from some ghosts. So what happens to Kevin? Kevin is a whiny little brat, and then all of a sudden the spooky winds blow and a branch breaks, and his wish came true. He got left alone, and he learns a lesson through that about how you do love your family and you do want them around, even though you might be a bratty kid. So I feel like there's kind of like a spiritual Christmas message, and same with Home Alone 2, where he befriends a homeless lady.
Yes. Yeah.
There's kind of a Christmassy message in there, whereas Die Hard is like just a sick action movie, and it happens to take place at Christmas time. But anyway.
But you're right. It has a theme of Christmas, so.
Yeah, I think you can watch it every year at Christmas time, because it just like Groundhog Day. You can watch that anytime, right? It's just a comedy. It's a Bill Murray comedy. You can watch it anytime, but it's fitting to watch it on Groundhog Day. Like, why would you not watch it on Groundhog Day?
Yeah. There's another movie, Family Man, which also
I don't know if I've seen that.
it's similar to A Christmas Carol, but it's not set in the 90s, and it's
Die Hard has the same family message. I guess Die Hard has it has like a weak family message, but the thing that I don't get about it, okay, is him and his wife were at each other's throats,
I
and
think they were divorced or separated.
yeah, she wasn't using his last name or something as part of the plot. Like, they're separated, right? And John McClane wants to be with his family, Dad says. Yes, so he wants to be with his family. That's why he flies there. But the beginning of the movie starts out with John is like going there and going to be like, yeah, but you and the kids are coming back to New York, right? Like, that was kind of his attitude. It's only through this traumatic event that they end up falling back in love. And then what even ends up happening in Die Hard 2, like, John McClane doesn't just go home and become a family man after this movie. You know what I mean? Like, the family message is kind of bullshit.
Well, his wife falls back in love with him because he's like the hero.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's kind of bullshit. Like this, like, she got wooed by him in that moment.
Yeah.
But, a week later, when they're back living in their apartment together, they're going to go right back to hating each other. Like, there was no, I didn't feel like there was like character development for John.
Oh no, it was all action.
Yeah, I'm trying to think at the end of the movie, like, does he say like, hey babe, I'm moving out to LA to be with you and the kids? I don't think he says that. John McClane equals Kevin McAllister. Well, that was Carter's point. If you're gonna call Home Alone a Christmas movie, then you might as well call Die Hard a Christmas movie. Very similar, fighting robbers and terrorists.
Yeah, I mean, I would say they're at least close to the same plane, close enough, being that whole Die Hard thing takes place on Christmas Eve and whatever. I mean, it was a Christmas party that the guys interrupted to rob the building.
Iron Man 3 is also a movie that takes place at Christmas.
Oh, true. But, the one I had mentioned before, Family Man, has Nicolas Cage, and I suggest watching it. It's pretty good.
I like Nicolas Cage movies, so
Yeah.
Family Man, put it on the list.
Yep.
I think we've done a pretty good episode here for a Friday night. You guys want to kind of wrap it up?
Yeah.
Put a bow on it like it's Christmas.
Is that at an hour and 20 minutes?
Yeah, I think we good little post Christmas episode.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on. I think I was gonna like try and interview you more and ask you more questions, but then I thought
Maybe next time.
Well, I thought it'd be better if Dad was here because I was gonna ask you questions about more about us growing up, but it'd be nice to have Dad here too to have both perspectives to kind of hear about.
Curtis and Calvin would be good too.
Yeah, if we had
different
all
questions.
6 of us here at once. Or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I thought this was fun, and I thought, I don't know what you're so afraid of coming on the podcast. I thought this was fine. You did a good job.
Thanks, everybody.
Love you too, Amy. Thanks for watching.
Love you, Amy.
Love you, Amy.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed my sweater. I enjoyed wearing it. Thanks for being here.